This weekend, NASCAR Nationwide Series drivers face a big challenge. Racing at the biggest, baddest track on the circuit, the massive Talladega Superspeedway, where the unexpected always happens.
Somehow, a driver must keep their head on straight. They must ignore banking that is too high, a track too long, speeds too fast, and danger lurking around every too tall turn. And accept that goal number one isn't to win, it's to survive.
A decade after he built Daytona, NASCAR founder Big Bill France wanted to make his next track bigger and faster. The result was Talladega, where the one and only practice for Saturday's NASCAR Nationwide Series race is about to get underway. Drivers making their way to their cars now. They'll be rolling out onto this giant track just a few moments from now. One and only practice because of pesky rain showers that peppered this area yesterday. Drivers were supposed to do all their practice on Thursday and be qualifying now. Never got on the track on Thursday, so qualifying canceled. The field set according to the NASCAR rulebook, essentially owner points at the front of the pack, putting championship duo Elliott Sadler and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. side by side on the front row for the run to the green flag. Let's go to the garage and hear from the championship leader, Elliott Sadler, with our Jamie Little.
Well, Alan, the sun is shining, and for the first time, these guys will get out on the track. Yesterday, of course, everything was canceled. So what is your plan for this practice session?
Run as little as possible. Usually when you come to a super speedway, all the guys back at the shop do all the work and everything to the cars that you can do. Usually when you show up here, you got what you got. So we're going to, NASCAR's changed the rules a little bit with as far as the intake is concerned, as far as getting fresh air to the engine radiator, as far as spacing is concerned. So we're going to go run some, see how hot we can get our engine, see how it can cool down, kind of run that through the motion, but that's it. So we want to try to save our one main financial car for the race tomorrow. Same car we had at Daytona, so it should be fine.
Last week, one of the big stories was the modifications made to the bumper covers. Well, those penalties came down this week, $10,000 fine to your crew chief, and of course he's on probation with your car chief. What was your reaction to that?
Well, it was it was tough for our company. That's a lot of money for a crew chief, especially in the Nationwide Series, and then being on probation for the rest of the year make sure we got to tiptoe the line pretty good. And our team cut 6 bumpers off before we came to Talladega. That's a lot of work to do. Since last Friday, we've had to do a lot of work to all the primary cars for 3 teams and the backup team. So our team has definitely worked hard to make sure we comply with what NASCAR wanted. And we had a good discussion with them, and they showed us what they were talking about and what parameters we need to be in. So we followed their lead, and we feel good about what we have here at Talladega. So we'll keep plugging away with it. And
just to be sure, they did. Your crew chief, Luke Lambert, asked NASCAR to come into the shop on Monday to make sure everything was good. So you're going to pass an inspection this week. Let's go over to Mike Massaro.
Thank you, Jamie. Regardless of sport, sometimes the superstar athlete on a team can push his less experienced teammates to be a little bit better in practice. That could be the case for Junior Motorsports this afternoon. For Danica Patrick and Cole Witt, this practice session all about getting seat time, understanding the draft, and who better to get lessons from than maybe their teammate and car owner Dale Earnhardt Jr. Always a threat to win in this style of racing. If Danica and Cole, though, are to take those cues from the 5 car, they better act early. Talking with Junior's crew chief Tony Uri this morning, he told me they're only planning to run a few laps in this practice session. They want to protect this race car because they do not have a backup for the 5 on the transporter. Also, Junior's objective, not necessarily to work with his younger teammates by himself. He wants to start with the 1 car of Kurt Busch. Why? Because on tomorrow afternoon, he'll start in the back with the 1 car. He wants to have a good plan for tomorrow's race. Alan?
All right, Michael, thank you. Always fun to dig back into the video vaults and look at the exploits of my broadcast partners up here. And at Talladega, that list is kind of long. 5 times as a crew chief and an owner, Andy Petry's gone to this racetrack's victory lane. That one as a team owner, where he made himself a nice hood ornament here. Good thing the driver saw you coming. And Dale Jarrett, a couple of times a winner as well in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, taking that checkered flag in 2005. You guys know how to carry a trophy out of this place. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
And glad you've joined us for our coverage of Nationwide Series practice. Alan Bestwick with Talladega winners, Dale Jarrett and Andy Petrie. When you think of Talladega, besides carrying all that hardware home, what do you think of?
Opportunity. I think every driver comes here knowing that if they have a car that has any speed at all, then they're going to have a chance if they get themselves in position. If you have the fastest car, it's still about positioning yourself at the right spot at the right time at the end of this race tomorrow afternoon. You have to find out exactly what your car is capable of doing and what you're capable of doing as a driver. So it's just a great opportunity for everyone that's here to think about going to victory lane.
This is a different style of racing that you have here at Talladega because the track is so big and it's so easy to negotiate the turns. The cars are really not up against the maximum grip through the corners, so it's a different style of racing and different things that make the car go fast and stay fast, and it's such a big, intimidating racetrack. That's what I think when I come here.
Over the last couple of years, the competition at Talladega and its sister track Daytona has evolved from the big packs of cars drafting to the tandem draft, 2 cars going around the racetrack leaning on each other. Fans said they didn't like it. NASCAR made some changes before the season opener at Daytona to try and change that. We kind of saw a lot of the tandem racing at Daytona as well. They've made some more changes for here. What are we going to see?
Well, we saw the Sprint Cup cars at Daytona running big packs pretty much. We saw mostly tandem racing in the Nationwide Series. They got in some packs at a few times, but they want to try to enhance that even more. But it really doesn't matter whether it's pack racing or tandem racing. These finishes that come down to on these tracks, this is what you can see. I mean, it's such a treacherous racetrack.
Yeah, I think when it comes time to win the race tomorrow, that 2-car tandem is what you're going to need to make the most speed and get yourself to the front. But I think that we have the opportunity to see at this racetrack, more so than Daytona, 3 and 4 cars hooking up and see some more of the pack racing throughout the day. It's going to be exciting, whatever style these drivers decide to take to us.
Absolutely. That finish at Daytona kind of wrapped all those themes into one. James Busher, the opportunity to score his first win. He was running 11th in turn 3 on the final lap. And here at Talladega, in the last 3 straight years, in 4 of the last 5, we've seen a last lap pass for the win.
Yeah, not only is this the biggest track, but it's unique in the way that the start-finish line is past the tri-oval, so you have to be careful not to make your move too soon.
See another fantastic finish here on Saturday? I think so. Opening practice, getting set to hit the track in just a minute. NASCAR Nationwide Series practice brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Between Birmingham and Atlanta, alongside Interstate 20, is where you'll find Talladega Superspeedway, a 3,000-acre complex filled with some of the most avid, enthusiastic, and hardcore race fans you'll find anywhere. These people love the competition they see at this racetrack, and why not? The world's fastest speedway gives them some of the most unpredictable, thrilling, exciting racing you could possibly want. There's a man who's had more than his share of success at this racetrack, Dale Earnhardt Jr. The Earnhardt name synonymous with success and trips to Talladega Victory Lane. Walking toward his Nationwide Series car to make some practice laps in this one and only practice they'll get for the weekend. Our aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Only DirecTV gives you dedicated driver channels, so you'll never miss a second of your driver's race. Call 1-800-DirecTV. You need an aerial view to see this place. It's 2 2/3 miles around. A lot of action going on out on the racetrack. Shortly, what's going on in the garage, Jamie?
Well, engines have fired. Everybody's going to their cars. We stopped Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ricky, I look at your stats here. In 2 races, your best finish is 29th here. What are your thoughts with such a tight championship battle, knowing you're so vulnerable at this track?
Well, I think about it as it's a speedway race. You know, it can be really good or it can be really bad. Obviously, we haven't had the greatest finishes here, but we've been fast. So I think we got some things that we're going to work on here in practice. It might make a little difference in the race, but our Cargill Beef Mustang has been fast all year, so that's all we can ask for. We're just going to go try to stay out of trouble and be there at the end.
All right, you don't have your drafting partner and Trevor Bayne here. You're a single car effort, so who do you run with?
Well, Michael Annette's, you know, on the Ford camp with Petty Motorsports over there. So we're going to work with him a little bit here in practice and see how it goes. But with the temperatures as hot as it is and the changes that NASCAR made to our race cars, I'm not sure how much pushing we're going to be able to do. So we're going to go find that out here in a minute.
All right, well, NASCAR is letting these drivers go according to points. So Elliott Sadler will have the first right to roll out, Alan.
Jamie, thanks. Time to buckle aboard for Stenhouse. And the signal has been given. Let the practice begin.
Yeah, not having qualifying, that you would think that the majority of this practice would be about finding a partner or getting in packs, but sometimes you just want to go work on some speed stuff, Andy, see what you can do, make your car as fast as you can.
Well, you do want to get out there and just at least shake the car down and see if you've got any problems, see if everything's working. Make sure you don't have any tire rubs. That's the first thing you want to kind of check off the list.
Make sure the car's not doing anything crazy, then you can get down to figuring out how it's going to be in the draft. So, talked about some rule changes that NASCAR has made from the race at Daytona to this race at Talladega. Let's detail those now. Mike Massaro has the story for us there.
Yeah, Alan, 3 major changes. First, softer springs in the rear. Also, a smaller restrictor plate, reducing the horsepower by about 30 horsepower or so. But the thing that most of these crews are concerned with, a change in the cooling department. Now, you take a look at the grill, and you can see these aluminum shims, so to speak, welded to the sides of the grill. That shaves off 2 inches on either side, changing the length from 24 inches in length down to 20 inches. This significantly changes the cooling dynamics of this race car, and most crew chiefs I spoke with this morning are telling me that's going to be the primary focus in this practice session.
All right, Mike, thanks. So again, 3 main rule changes. They soften the rear springs to try and keep air from getting from under the car into that radiator opening to break up the tandem draft. So to compensate for dropping that spoiler out of the air, they shrunk the restrictor plate to balance the speed on the car. But that grill opening is the big deal.
Well, it is going to be, especially this practice session. They're going to need to get out there and get in the situations they expect to be in and see how these cars cool. I actually am a little worried about this because it is very hot here, a lot hotter than it was at Daytona. And I'm not even sure that these cars will be able to run even in big packs without getting some fresh air to the nose. So that's the first thing that these teams really need to find out is how hot they can run their cars without pushing water out, and then how to keep it under that temperature.
Yeah, and the only way for the 2-car tandem drafting to work is to stay attached. So you have to be right up on the back bumper. You're getting no air whatsoever. So how long can you possibly do that? And I think that's why we're going to see more pack racing because of that temperature that you talked about, Andy. Very high temperature, high humidity here. It's not good for engine cooling.
Check it out tomorrow. 89 degrees, the forecast temperature at race time late in the afternoon here. Considerably warmer than the upper 60s that it was at Daytona last time these cars ran in this rule configuration.
And so far, we haven't really seen a 2-car hookup. Usually, we would have seen one by now, coming right off the pit road, with 2 cars kind of dedicated to each other, the way they expect to run the race. But you don't see it yet. We see them, there's a 3-car pack passing another 3-car pack. Kenny Wallace leading Brad Kozlowski there on the bottom.
Let me just while we're having this rule discussion and talking about temperature and cooling, tie together a couple of other technical items. NASCAR did not change that pressure relief valve in the radiator systems. The radiators are still the same capacity they were at Daytona. That pressure relief valve still set to go off and release water at 25 pounds of pressure. And that front grill opening, Mike was showing you the little tab spacers they put in to shrink the opening. Well, NASCAR did that for a reason. If they find out through this practice that this rules package and the weather conditions are not working like they think, it's easier for the teams to just cut those off if they want to change the rule than it is to go back and cut a fully built-in grill opening.
Yeah, one of the things you mentioned there was that pressure relief valve and that grill opening. All this goes together. The big thing here is keeping the coolant in the system. If you keep the coolant in the system, the temperature is not quite as critical. You could run it upwards even of 300 degrees, but you can't do that with that pressure relief set so low. It'll spray all of the coolant out of it, and then you have nothing there to cool it later. So all of that works together, and that's why NASCAR has made that rule, so they can't just sit there and stay locked up for many, many laps in a row.
Yeah, and as a driver, it's just one more thing you have to pay attention to because nobody else can tell you anything. You might, once you start seeing that coolant come out or water over the overflow, it's probably almost too late by that point.
Yeah, you've heard the saying, so that's water over the dam. That's it. When that water's gone, it's gone.
All right, so the Busch brothers. Remember last Friday night, last race for the Nationwide Series, Kurt drove Kyle's 54 to victory at Richmond. Well, Kyle's back aboard the 54, and brother Kurt is in James Finch's 1.
Now they are hooked up together here.
Wins one race and kicks him out of the seat. How about that?
Look at the windshield tear off on the one car beginning to flap around. That plastic coating they put over the windshield.
Yeah, just shows you what happens with the air here too. That's a great example. You can see they're starting to tear out. Anytime that he just moves out a little bit, it really starts to flap a lot more.
Now here's where that could be a problem for somebody else.
Yeah.
If that comes off and gets over the grill opening, as small as they are, it won't take but less than a lap for that car to run hot.
Which is not a big deal today, but tomorrow can be a huge issue.
Besides watching that tear off flapping, watching for at the bottom right corner of the windshield, passenger side of the car, is where the overflow for the cooling systems comes out. So not just us watching the television pictures, but the crew chiefs on top of their haulers and the driver behind the wheel is waiting for the first sign of water to show from that to tell him that the dam has spilled over.
Yeah, it's not too bad right now. You're running in 2-car packs. It's not too bad to be watching for the temperature gauge and that blow-off valve. But when you get in these tight conditions where they're 40 cars wide here or long, it can be difficult and it can be distracting. That's one thing I've just never liked, having the driver be responsible for something so important as the engine without having to really pay attention.
So a little switch there in the tandem draft. Now Kurt goes out in front to get some cool air to his radiator.
Yeah, you want to slow down as little as possible when making that change, but it's up to really the driver in the front. The driver that's trying to catch from behind there, he's wide open, so you just have to get him attached by out of the throttle a little bit and then on the brake possibly a little bit to get hooked up as quickly as possible.
See that windshield tear off is no longer flapping on the windshield of the one.
And there it goes.
Got 3/4 straight out back.
All the cars have those tear-offs. That one there must have had some contamination on the adhesive or something, because it doesn't usually come off like that.
I can tell you there were times in races down here whenever somebody might be leaking a little oil or something, you wish that it would come off that easy, and get out of there where you could actually see. You had to drive, because obviously you have to wait to a pit stop if it's not going to do that.
Penske teammates, Sam Hornicks Jr. in the 12, Brad Keselowski you're aboard with in the 22. Now, the story about Richmond and some of the Chevy teams having to cut the front bumper covers off their cars last week in tech inspection. Well, yesterday in inspection here, it was these two Penske Dodges. Same thing, cutting that front bumper cover off. They were in one of the garage stalls at the back end of the garage yesterday. I walked by, those guys looked like, and they had dust from top to bottom after they finished sanding and bonding, and we're getting ready to put some of the decaling back on the cars.
I think now that the crew chief has got the message that they can't mess with that nose. 2 weeks in a row now, they've gotten quite a few teams. So next race, these other guys better fall in line.
I thought it was pretty clear after last time.
I did too. It took 6 of them.
It's been me. Yeah.
Jamie's following the championship leader, Elliott Sadler.
And Alan, he went out and turned 3 laps, and he said he had a pretty good vibration, and he said he was loose as well. So we brought it in. They're going to jack him up here and check the heights and make sure everything looks okay. And the plan is to go back out, and instead, like we saw at Daytona, he ran with a teammate in Austin Dillon. He's going to look for the 18 and Joey Logano. So we'll wait and see what they can do together. They're starting on the first and second row in this race.
While we watch Elliott Sadler's teammates on the track, Austin Dillon in the 3 and Kevin Harvick in the 33. Vibration.
Yeah, you never like that. These tracks like this seem to make it more sensitive. The car's more sensitive to vibration. You definitely don't want any vibration, because it can knock a little bit of speed out of the car too.
Little water
just a
out of
little.
the 33 there for Harvick.
Yeah. See it and that's okay. They can experiment with that right now. It's not really going to hurt the engine to lose a little water right now, because they can come right in the garage area, top it back off, no harm to the engine. But if this happens in the race, the more times that happens,
Okay,
the less cool you
going
have.
into 3, switch going into 3.
And then the quicker it heats up when you do get behind another car.
So a lot of what's going on right now with these teams is they're literally counting laps, seeing how many laps they can run in this draft, and even in the offset draft, trying to get some cool air into the car. How many laps can they run before they need to do this?
Yeah, and you can change that number, as we saw Kevin Harvick there as they now make the switch. But when he was getting out, getting a little air to his car, you can prolong that by just getting a little bit more air to it and make that happen. But if you're really wanting to stay tight and make a pass and run a route down, you're not going to be able to do it very long, because the more square you stay behind that car, the faster these two are going to run.
Remember back at Daytona in February in that opening practice, we saw Austin Dillon trying to learn how to do this style of drafting with Elliott Sadler on the track. Kevin Harvick's a pretty good teacher, too.
Yeah. And this isn't an easier place to do it, because this racetrack is very smooth. It was a surprise to hear Elliott Sadler say something about his car being loose.
Yeah, I thought so,
if it's
too.
loose by itself already, and then they've got some work to do. But you're going to have some tug on the steering wheel at this, because you're going to be in those packs, and you want the car as free as you can hang on to, but you also want to be able to maneuver.
Now, good teachers, speaking of, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 5, looking at Dale, working with Danica Patrick. Saw some bits of white on the grill of that 7 car, and with that reduced grill opening, if you are in this draft, that's not something you really want to see, is taking any of that away.
Well, and they can make a swap here, and if she can get her bumper, or front bumper right on the rear bumper of Dale Earnhardt Jr., that'll just pop right off of there, so it's not a big deal. If they run that whole race that way,
if they were running in a bigger pack of cars, that
it could be a problem.
Could be a problem. Our ESPN in-race reporter for Saturday's race at Talladega is Danica Patrick. Want to drop a question to suggest for Dale to ask Danica on the pace laps? ESPN.com and search in-race reporter. Send us your suggestions. Might be the one that gets on the air.
Impressive. Your Celtics the other night, without their point guard, Mr. Rondo, being suspended, came back and beat the Hawks.
Paul Pierce just kind of owned that game,
He
didn't he?
did.
So Dale Jr. now, the one in front. Danica Patrick has dropped behind. You see now Jr.'s picked up some trash on his grill, and the stuff that was on that grill opening of the 7, as you talked about, Andy.
Yeah, it's gone now. But she's not tucked up as tight. We saw Junior was pushing her pretty well all the way around the racetrack. I don't know if they're having I guess they decided to call it off.
That'll do it too.
Well, the first couple of laps, she did a really good job of staying attached. They made some pretty good speed that way.
Joe Gibbs Racing teammates, Brian Scott in the 11 and Ryan Truex in the 20. First ever Talladega race for Ryan Truex. Certainly a good team and a good situation for him.
It always helps when you come here and you have a car and you know that you have a car that's going to have speed. Then you can concentrate on learning what the draft is really about and what you need to do. And you'll have close to 300 miles to figure a lot of that out and then see what he can make happen at the end.
Most tracks, practice session, you're trying to tune speed into the car, trying to get it where you could use more throttle, longer periods of time around the track. With this track being the way it is and the restrictor plate, you just run wide open all the way around. So you're not really tuning speed into the car. You're trying to, like the driver, they're trying to figure out how they can offset their car. It's more like, it really is more like a practice session than a test session.
When this track was first built, we saw a lot of guys get there first and sometimes only win. On the Sprint Cup side, Nationwide Series didn't start running here till 92. They started racing here in 69. Today's racing experience, this kind of drafting and so on, talk about it being an opportunity race. Can a young guy get his first win here?
Oh, he can, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt, because you take someone just like this pair right here. You have Ryan Truex there. And if he gets himself hooked up, if he's that front car at the end and he gets the push and they can hold on better, all he's got to do is make sure that he steers it in the right direction and his partner stays attached to his bumper.
That's what it's been. I mean, it really has been a place where anybody, anybody can win.
Yeah, I wasn't just, when we came on the air saying that's not just to say that to make the fans think that. That literally is the truth, that you can do that.
I completely agree. And again, what we saw at Daytona, the guy running 11th going into turn 4 won the race.
Yeah. I can't guarantee you that the first 10 are going to crash here tomorrow afternoon, but
there's a chance.
There is that chance. We saw that.
And how many wins did James Busher have in the Nationwide Series before this one?
None.
Okay, it can happen.
They got together, running in front of him, and that 30 car found his way through the mayhem before the caution came out.
I wouldn't try to plan on doing it this way if I was somebody, though.
Yeah.
This is something I don't think I've ever seen. This many cars crash that close to the finish line. Look at this. There's 10 cars in the wreck, and look at James.
Yeah, I've laid back in some races thinking, trying to get myself positioned, but never outside the top 10 did I think I could make that pass. Yeah.
That's one of those moments you wanted to borrow a line from the great Jack Buck. I can't believe what I just saw.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm sure James Busher was feeling that way too. But at that time, though, so much is happening. He still had to do a great job of getting himself maneuvered through all of that.
Austin Dillon, Kevin Harvick, Richard Childress Racing, 3 and 33. And Sam Hornish Jr. in the 12, third in the championship coming in, Mike.
And that's right. And as you alluded to earlier in the day, Alan, a little bit of trouble during inspection yesterday afternoon, not only for the 12, but also their teammate, 22, Brad Keselowski. Similar to what happened with the RCR and Turner cars last week, their upper front bumper covers were confiscated by NASCAR for illegal modifications. Now, the situation is a little bit different. We'll compare what it's supposed to look like with the gray fender to the yellow one of the 12 car. You can see the angle of the lip that goes near the wheel well. It's almost a 90-degree angle on the official and legal one. On the Penske nose, however, you can see the angle a little bit softer, not quite 90 degrees. NASCAR did not like this, so they confiscated this upper front bumper cover. As we saw with RCR and Turner, they had penalties come this week. Expect the same for the 12 and the 22 coming up this weekend.
Mike, thanks. And for Hornish and Keselowski, the rain out of practice yesterday actually kind of worked to their advantage because they had the time to make and finish those repairs and didn't lose any track time. I think I said Sam Hornish was third in the championship. He's third on the speed chart right now. He's fourth in the championship coming into this race. Had a great run at Richmond last week. Elliott Sadler back out on the 2. Remember, Jamie reported the vibration on the first run.
Yeah, look at this camera angle, this camera shot. It looks like it's pretty smooth. A lot of times those vibrations can be so violent that they'll shake the camera, but sitting there running with this 18 car, just like he said he wanted to try to work with. We'll see how this works out speed-wise.
18 car won this race a year ago. It was Kyle Busch driving then. He was being pushed in that tandem draft by Joey Logano, who's driving the 18 car this time.
You see just how smooth this track is, and it's got really good transitions into and out of the corners where it's really seamless.
190.
Relatively easy to drive.
Yeah, in this type situation, it's really very easy to drive. A lot of people can go out there and take one of these cars and go out there and drive around here. We have our driving school here, and people can go here and run wide open, just like these guys are doing. Jamie?
Well, so far these two have run tandem about a lap and a half, and Elliott hasn't said anything about the vibration. So I just asked the team, did they make any adjustments? And they said no. We wanted to go out and run tandem and see how the car performed then. As you guys reported, he was a little loose in the first run.
And looking at the shifter, you can see the shifter knob right there inside the car. I'm watching that to see if it's vibrating or shaking. Looks pretty smooth to me.
Because this track is so smooth, these things, any vibration is magnified because you feel like sometimes it's more than actually what it is. But that shifter, to me, was always something good. If I could put my hand over there, if you could see it shaking, that obviously was trouble. But you could put your hand on that a lot to try to help you decide exactly where it may be coming from.
Now, watching Sadler offset his car on Joey Logano's, reminder that the bumpers on the Nationwide Series cars are more round than the front bumpers on the NASCAR Sprint Cup machine. So doing this offset drafting thing is a little more challenging.
It is definitely more challenging. You have to be a little bit more careful. It's tougher, and especially whenever you're trying to get over there offset to get some air, that's whenever it really becomes more of an issue with these cars.
The biggest problem we saw in this race a year ago and in the Daytona race in February is what I'll call the hook and turn. Guys getting off-centered like that and getting that front car starting to wiggle and wobble and knocked around the racetrack.
Swapping in one, bud. Swapping in one. Go high in one. That was a good one.
In fact, in this race a year ago, all the trouble happened on the back straight.
It seems like I don't know how many times we've seen that.
Yeah.
Huge crashes on the straightaway.
Yeah, you have the best drivers in the world, and they're crashing going down the straightaway. But that's where you're trying to position yourself and get the most out of it, and there's just so many things that are happening out there. It's just incredible. I think one of the things that could have helped create a vibration, and you talked about those softer rear springs, that changes the angle of drive shaft. And I know that they've compensated and planned for all of that, but that was something that we always fought here as you tried to soften and get that spoiler out of the air and things like that, that did create vibrations at times.
All right, so Sadler and Logano continuing to run in the draft. We'll keep an eye on them and see how many laps they're able to make that work. Some reported radio troubles for Kurt Busch. Follow up on that when we come back to Talladega. A lot of great racing action from the Alabama and Georgia area coming your way this weekend on the ESPN networks. We have the NASCAR Nationwide Series from here at Talladega Superspeedway. And our coverage starts at 3 Eastern time tomorrow on ABC. The drag racers are also over in Atlanta. And so that should be a fun weekend in these parts. Kurt Busch, we mentioned having some radio troubles, is headed back out onto the racetrack.
10-4, check, 1, 2. I got you loud and clear there, Steve. You got it?
Yeah, 10-4, I hear you good, Kurt.
10-4, I think we're narrowing in on our loose connection. Radio. Check, 3, 4, 6.
Well, Kurt could hear the team perfectly fine. It was when he pressed his push to talk button, they couldn't understand what he was saying, so they had racing radios come over. They fixed the problem. Now, as far as the race car right now, he was a little free, so they made a track bar adjustment. Going to head out. This is their second run. He's going to look to hook up with his brother in the 54 once again.
You hear him talking about being a little free, which is, you don't usually hear of any handling issues here, but I think that probably the biggest indication you have there is just, like you said, that tug on the steering wheel. You just have a little less than you want. You really want to be able to turn that wheel left and not have any issues at all with the back end.
Yeah, and I would have to say that maybe that rear spring change has a little something to do with that to make these cars look here. And all that's going to translate into is some pretty exciting moments tomorrow as these guys try to negotiate and run in the tandem and in packs.
Kyle, his car looks like it's handling perfectly.
So while the Busch brothers work in the draft, we also watch Cole Witt in the 88 and the 31 of Justin Allgaier. They had to change the engine in this 88 car yesterday before it even got on the racetrack for a lap.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what kind of issue they had there. Must have found something there that they didn't like the way it looked. Mike?
Andy, I can explain exactly what happened with the engine. Now, normally when you see a team pull out an engine during pre-race inspection, you automatically assume, well, NASCAR didn't like something they saw. Well, they didn't, but it wasn't because it was illegal. NASCAR actually discovered a washer inside one of the cylinders of this engine. Actually helped the team out. They thought it might be a damaged motor, so they were trying to help that team out and trying to avoid a big problem in practice today. And so therefore, as a precautionary measure, they swapped out engines, are not going to be penalized, and obviously very thankful that NASCAR pointed that out.
If they had a washer in one of the cylinders, they dodged a major bullet there. Finding that before they went on the track. So I guess NASCAR is here to protect and serve, right?
It all helps. Justin Allgaier had also been working with Kenny Wallace in the 99 in the draft earlier in practice, and we picked up this on Allgaier's radio.
Does this feel any more stable than the 99? Well, it's definitely more stable, but I mean, he's pushing so awkward, you know, that it's hard to really give you a good answer. All right, I'm just thinking of dancing partners, that's all. I mean, we could race like this. I'm not worried about either one of them, but
Allgaier's Turner Motorsports team is a 3-car effort, so if 2 of them work together, one of them's got to find another drafting partner.
I think we're going to see a lot of that tomorrow. I don't think you're going to see as many dedicated partnerships because they have to swap so much and they're going to be in a big pack. I think you're just going to see in the middle of the race where two drivers are just going to find themselves together and they're just going to work together.
Cole Witt, of course, making his first start here at Talladega in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. His drafting experience at Daytona earlier this year included some time working with his teammate Danica Patrick in the 7, and it didn't necessarily work out as either one of them would have hoped. I talked with Cole about that this morning, and he said he has spoken with Danica about them working in the draft here at Talladega in this race. And his opinion, Andy, was basically the one that you just said. They think the kind of racing is going to be such that there's not going to be as much dedicated drafting as it will be, okay, who's around you when it's time to go.
I know Danica was real upset about that incident at Daytona, but it really was something that Cole Witt was trying to help her. They were trying to help each other, and it was just a mistake. And unfortunately, that's the one thing about this style of racing is it just doesn't leave much room for error.
No, there's very little room for error.
That was cutting a little close right there.
Yeah, you have to cut it pretty close if you're going to make that switch and make it losing as little time as possible. But that Daytona incident was probably as much catching quickly and the driver behind not being able to see how quickly you're catching that group of cars in front. And all it takes is a split second of your partner backing out of the throttle to avoid something happening in front, and then those kind of things are going to happen. I think people come away from Daytona and especially this racetrack more mad than they do from a short track where you play bang and bump all the time.
And when you beat bang and bump and you get in a wreck at 190 miles an hour, it's never a fun thing.
Not fun. Get your attention.
Dale Jr., one of several drivers looking like they've called it a day in this Nationwide Series practice. Austin Dillon perhaps as well. The 3,000-acre grounds that contain Talladega Superspeedway. Looking down from our aerial coverage, it's brought to you by DirecTV. Only DirecTV gives you dedicated driver channels, so you'll never miss a second of your driver's race. Call 1-800-DirecTV. So tomorrow, the NASCAR Nationwide Series here at Talladega. Our coverage starting at 3 Eastern Time, and note that is on ABC tomorrow. Then the NHRA Southern Nationals from up the highway, the Summit Racing Equipment Southern Nationals qualifying 7 Eastern tomorrow, ESPN2. And the finals will be on Sunday at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Told you there was a lot of motorsports happening up and down the road here. James Busher, the Daytona winner in the 30, working with one of the many drivers that's going to get his first Talladega experience in the Nationwide Series this weekend. That's Brad Sweet in the 38, learning the tandem draft.
You have to learn quick, not getting any more laps than what you get out here, but you get a feel for exactly what you have to do. And just because you're the car in front doesn't mean in this situation that you have nothing to do. If you just sit there and hold it wide open, then you're not going to stay attached to that driver behind you. You obviously want to be in the throttle as much as you can, but you do have a responsibility in this.
There are 15 drivers going to make their first Talladega start in the NASCAR Nationwide Series here tomorrow. 26 of the 43 have 2 starts or less. Now, one slight disclaimer. Kurt Busch is one of those 15 drivers. Never run the Nationwide Series here at Talladega before, but for the most part, got a lot of guys like Brad Sweet and James Busher and so on that don't have a lot of laps in one of these cars at this track.
But this is Kurt Busch's first time in a Nationwide car at Talladega. That means he's going to win, right?
He wins everywhere else.
I think that's what he's done just about everywhere else. We did it at Watkins Glen last week at Richmond.
Austin Dillon going to get to go at Talladega in the Nationwide Series here on Saturday. Jamie?
He just said, I guess I'm one of those 15 here for the first time in the Nationwide Series car. Always another first. This time you're running with Kevin Harvick, whom you didn't run with at Daytona. How'd that go?
Yeah, it was great. You know, I learned a lot from him just listening to him, and we worked on our switches quite a bit. It's going to be an interesting race because I don't know how long we can stay out there doing that just because we're pushing water pretty quick. And I think it's going to be a lot of draft, pack racing, and then at the end you'll see the guys link up and go after it. So hopefully we keep our stuff cool all day and then go after it at the end.
You guys turned a lot of laps together, ran tandem the whole time. How many laps were you able to push?
It's a secret. I can't tell everybody. So.
It's a very low number, right?
Yeah, it's not as high as we'd like to see it to be out front pushing and stuff, but you know, I think we got something for them. I really do. I think the Chevrolets are built really good this year, and we should be able to push for quite a while.
All right, Alan, I'm hearing through the garage they're saying 3 and 4 laps max before they start pushing water.
That's going to be the key thing. If you could push a lap or 2 longer than somebody else, it's going to make a big difference in how you're going to run this race because there's just so much speed in that tandem style of racing.
Well, the key's going to be is if you get in those last 6 to 8 laps at the end of this race, being able to stay hooked up without switching and keep your car cool to that, cool enough to that point to be able then on that last lap or lap and a half to really tuck in and make the most speed, which is staying tucked right up behind that car in front of you.
And that's going to take some good management,
yeah,
all race long to try to keep that water. You're not going to be able to replenish that water supply quickly. Now you can come in the pits. We saw Matt Kenseth do it in the Daytona 500, come in and put water in his car. You can do that, but chances are you won't get away with that, as be able to stay up in the lead pack and stay in contention.
Another one of those drivers with his first Talladega start in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Jeffrey Earnhardt in the 15. Drafting there with Robert Richardson in the 23.
And another one of those things for the driver in front here to do is to hold the car as steady as you possibly can. Because if you're moving around, then the driver behind you trying to push you is having to move back and forth across your bumper, and you're only creating friction and a bad situation there, but you're also costing you speed.
Now you could see they did that swap there, and it wasn't as well organized as some of the more experienced drivers we've seen, so lessons being learned there. Dale Earnhardt Jr., we saw put the helmet back on, and he's gone back out onto the racetrack. Mike, I thought they were just going to make a couple of laps.
Yeah, as we documented at the top of the show, Pops Yuri said they only wanted to run a few laps because they don't have a backup for the 5 car. Well, things changed a little bit in that first session. He came in because he bottomed out so hard, thought they might have damaged the splitter. They took a look, they made some minor repairs. They wanted to bring it back out and make sure that nothing was broken, make sure everything is still very good. He's going to run a few laps with the 99 car, but expect them to pull it in very soon.
All right, Mike, thanks. And that's Kenny Wallace aboard that 99 car here this week.
I like that pairing right there. Kenny Wallace is a great drafting partner, and we all know what Junior can do at this track, and the one like it at Daytona.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., of course, 5 wins in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series here at Talladega, a win in the Nationwide Series as well, carrying on the legacy established at this track by his dad, who went to victory lane over and over and over again here at Talladega.
There's Kenny Wallace pushing.
Tied that all together nicely, didn't we? Earnhardt, Wallace, drafting to the finish at Talladega. Little debriefing in the garage there. The 31 hat with its back to you is Justin Allgaier. That's his teammate James Buescher next to him, and his crew chief Jimmy Elledge, Allgaier's crew chief, across from them. And on the racetrack, another run for the Joe Gibbs Racing teammates of Ryan Truex in the 20 and Brian Scott in the 11.
You see a lot of teams electing not to spend a lot of time and laps on the track, but this is for this 20 car and Truex. This is valuable track time for him.
I would think fairly safe to say there's nothing else that can prepare you to do this kind of drafting than to get out there and do it.
Yeah, you can go in there and talk about it all you want.
Yeah.
But that doesn't do any good. You have to get out and experience exactly, what someone may be trying to explain to you. If they're telling you, look, you have to stay attached, help me stay attached to you better whenever you're out front and I'm being pushed. So you have to get out there and just see what that feel is and exactly what you have to do. If that's, again, rolling out of the throttle just a little bit, is it dragging the brake just a little bit? Whatever you have to do to make that happen.
Elliott Sadler 2, Joey Logano 18.
Looks like they're pretty well dedicated to working together. We saw Austin Dillon, who I would have assumed was going to work with Elliott Sadler in this race, working with Hardwick, which is a great pairing too. But that kind of left Elliott out, but he's got a great one with Logano there.
Yeah, good pairing, and both of them having 3 cars within their respective teams, so somebody's going to be left out and have to make something happen. So Elliott Sadler's really good at drafting at these places, understands all that it takes to do that, and obviously Logano very good at it also.
Yeah, if you want a good drafting partner for the finish of this thing, Joey Logano has been right around the front of the pack at the finish of this race the last 3 years. Check that out. Second, third.
It probably means he's a really good pusher.
That might be why Elliott picked him out. He said he doesn't seem to mind finishing second. That means if he's pushing me, good chance I'm going to be first.
I think if you asked Joey, he would not agree with that assessment.
Kind of wonder where this came from, how they learned to do this, because this is something that 5 or 6 years ago you didn't think about doing. But I remember the first time I saw it, was Brad Keselowski pushing Carl Edwards in the final couple laps here when Keselowski is now famous. He won the race and Carl wound up in the fence. But they were coming about 10 miles an hour faster than the field.
We're good. That was pretty.
Is that Elliott we just heard say we're good?
Yeah, that was a nice switch right there that they did. You know, you see people trying to do it in the corners and things, and where you're going to lose the most time. But I like the way that they performed that.
Yeah, let's try it with about 40 other cars around. See how it works out. That adds to the difficulty factor.
Now, the most recent race winner on the NASCAR Nationwide Series is second on the speed chart. Jamie?
It certainly was a great weekend for the Busch brothers last weekend, but Kurt, you're one of the few cars that I've seen actually make a little bit of adjustments to the car. You guys made a track bar adjustment. How did that impact the car?
Just trying to make sure we're tightened up enough for that fast lap. You know, Kyle and I teamed up and we're quick on that one lap, and that's what really is the fastest lap that will simulate when we get out there in the big pack. And so with that extra speed, you want to make sure you're tight enough or stable enough when somebody's pushing you. So that's the comfort zone we're trying to find. I think we have it. The splitter set in nice, and it's just fun driving with Kyle out on the nationwide circuit. And you know, it's his car, our car on that monster side, so I'm not getting too aggressive right now, pushing hard. But you know, with our HendrickCars.com, we feel settled in, and this is that car that was fast at Daytona. And I want to encourage everybody to go to HendrickCars.com and register for a chance to win to go to the Brickyard 400. So that's where everybody's got to go. Even if you're not a fan of the tandem drafting or Talladega, you got to be a fan of Mr. H and what he's doing for us.
Absolutely. And Kurt, you're one of 15 drivers making your first start here in a nationwide car. Many differences that you feel coming from your Cup car?
You know, it's more aggressive on how you can push with these cars. You can just really manhandle these cars a little more, and you have to do things a bit more delicate on the Cup side.
All right, good to see you back over here. Alan?
Kurt second on the speed chart too. His brother Kyle.
I'll tell you, you get a good insight right there of what an experienced, great race car driver can do for you. That car, it wasn't really doing anything wrong. He just knows what he needs at the end of that race when they are going the fastest they're going to go. That's really insightful for him to do that and to be adjusting the car for that.
All right, teamed up in the draft. Danica Patrick, 7. Cole Witt, 88. Working it out. Mike's been following these two cars through the practice for us. What are they saying, Mike?
This was the plan from the get-go, Alan, for these two drivers to work together as closely as possible. Neither one of them with extensive experience in this style of racing, especially Cole Witt. They wanted to get him some more seat time and a little bit more drafting time so they would hook up. That was the plan from the beginning. As for handling conditions of these race cars, the biggest concern Cole Witt has had so far, Alan, the car's been very darty. They've made significant changes when it comes to rear springs and things of that nature, trying to adjust that race car. As for Danica, her biggest concern, the cooling issue. She said the car was running hot after just 2 laps. They pulled into the garage not too long ago, tried to help her out there as much as they can within the rule structure, and are back out working on that.
Mike, thanks. I don't imagine a darty car when you're being pushed bumper to bumper like this would be fun.
No, it's okay out there right now where they're not in a pack or anything. As Andy was talking about these packs, that intensifies.
Let me know when you want to switch.
Certainly makes it much more difficult, because you're going to get in situations to where you may go through cars that are already running 2 wide, possibly even 3 wide, but there's a hole and you have speed and you need to go there, and you can't do that if you're not comfortable with steering of your race car.
And let me just bring up one other thing. We've been talking about rule changes NASCAR made. You just heard Tony Uri Jr., Danica's crew chief, say, "Let me know when you want to switch." Remember last year the drivers had all the dials in the car where they had other people's radio frequencies, and they would literally talk to each other, and the spotter of one of the cars would be doing the spotting for both. Well, now NASCAR's outlawed that. So in order to effect this change, there are more parties involved in the communication chain.
Yeah, there's some more layers to it, because when she gets to the point and say, okay, I'm within about 5 degrees of being too hot, she tells Tony Jr., the crew chief, hey, I need to switch. He'll relay it either to the spotter. The spotter monitors that, says something to the other spotter, and then coordinates that where they can make that switch.
Yeah, and you want to do this in a timely fashion, and they're running over 190 miles an hour. So by the time that word gets there, sometimes it may not be quite as beneficial.
That's why you got to do it ahead of time.
Pressure, you let me know when you want to switch.
And that's why they're saying that.
Let's do it 3 and 4. Temps are okay. 240, 260 right now. 240, 250. Let's swap in 3 and 4.
Copy. Copy.
Now,
He's going to go high when he gets there.
he has to be relaying that to Cole Witzspotter, who is obviously monitoring the 7 on a scanner in addition to his own team radio. So that cuts down on
Drag your feet. Half back. Still half back. Drag your feet a little bit. Should be attached.
That cuts down on the communication lag there just a little.
Yeah, well, you heard that, drag your feet a little bit. What that means is drag the brake pedal just enough to make sure that you get attached. And then once that happens, the drag goes down, the aerodynamic drag goes down so much that the cars pick up a tremendous amount of speed. And that's why you think, well, put the brakes on, it's going to make me slow down. But the tandem will go faster if you're touching.
Yeah, and obviously you could come out of the throttle and kind of do the same thing, but because of the restrictor plate, it takes more time then to build that speed back up. So you're better off just with the brake, getting attached, then you're still wide open, so the engine's running at full bore.
And that's what you don't want. Right there, that gap, it really does knock a lot of speed out of the potential that you can do with 2 cars. And that is her responsibility as the leader of this 2-car draft to make sure the 2 cars stay attached.
He was way slow on the switch. I think he came out of the throttle, but it's all good here. That's what we're learning.
Yeah, but she has to know, too, that she has a responsibility. As these cars go down the straightaway and go off into the corner, if she doesn't do something there, I'm speaking of Danica, to keep that car attached to her, then it's just going to shoot her off a half a car length. And once you get 3 feet of those cars, you start losing speed. Any feet, a foot, and they start losing that.
It actually takes that physical connection. They have to be mechanically linked together to make the kind of speed, because what it does then is it makes both engines are producing the power, and you basically don't have but about 1.5 times as much aerodynamic drag. But you have to have the cars touching to be able to take advantage of the 2 engines pulling.
And something else I was thinking of while we're watching this, we talked about this 88 car for Witt being darty. Well, if you're the guy doing the pushing and that car's moving around where you don't want it to be moving or when you don't want it to be moving, that's not very good on the back bumper of that car in front either.
Now, it makes it a handful for the driver in front to be driving as you move across the back bumper. We talk about it's not that hard to drive these, but if you got somebody moving across the back, not only stirring up air, but physically moving the back bumper around, it makes it more difficult, and you're not going to make the most speed.
NASCAR Nationwide Series practice ongoing for the once-a-year nationwide race at the Talladega Superspeedway that comes up tomorrow. Among the unexpected that will happen tomorrow, expect the big finish. In 3 of the last 4 years, 4 of the last 5 in the last 3 straight, rather, we've had the driver leading at the white flag in the Nationwide Series race at Talladega not be leading at the checkered flag. Yeah, there have been some wild times along the way in those last laps. The surprise winner among the expected outcomes here at Talladega Superspeedway tomorrow. Now, one of the reasons for that, the location of the start-finish line. Track founder Big Bill France wanted to do something different. So instead of putting the start-finish line in the center of the track, like it is at Daytona and most all other tracks, say over here, the start-finish line is way down towards turn number 1. And that makes a difference from behind the wheel when you're trying to figure out how to win the race.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you just think of Daytona, you have to start making that move and getting yourself positioned down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Here, that's way too early. That entrance of the tri-oval gives you plenty of room. That, of course, everybody knows that too, so you do that. But you don't want to leave yourself not enough room to make that, because that would be the worst feeling that you waited too late. So it makes it such an interesting concept, and as a driver, you have to always be conscious and aware of that as to what you want to do.
And it's always been that way. My first race here was a crew member on Darrell Waltrip's Mountain Dew car in 1981. That was the race that Ron Bouchard won from 3rd place, and he was in 3rd when they came by the pits, which are right there at the main straightaway. I couldn't even see the finish, and I had no idea he had won.
Nobody else could see the finish either, if you remember that day.
Oh, that's right.
CBS's video transmission was cut, and nobody else saw the finish as it happened either. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been first to that finish line a lot of times, Mike.
Yeah, he has 5 times in Cup, 1 time in Nationwide. He's got a fast race car here today, too. 11th on the speed chart. What kind of race car do you have for tomorrow afternoon?
It's about like everybody else's. The draft's good. It seems to run fine. So we're just wrapping it up and going to put in qualifying trim and get ready, or put in race trim and get ready for tomorrow. So we're pretty happy. It's hot out here. Typical. That's how it used to be when I was a kid coming out here. Hadn't been this hot in a while, but it's pretty fun, and I think we're going to be good.
That heat you mentioned ratchets up the degree of difficulty for even you veterans, but I saw you working with one of your lesser experienced teammates, Danica Patrick, out there. What were you trying to show her?
I wasn't trying to show her anything. I was just, my Helmets car needed to know how hot it could run pushing somebody, and she needs to be able to find the same thing out, so we just get out there and figure that out, working together, and work on whatever ain't good or isn't like we want. But my car seems to be cool and fine, and I don't know about hers, but we're pretty happy with how ours is. So we're gonna really ain't nothing else to do as far as the car don't handle or anything. So just make sure it don't hit the ground and runs fine.
Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., you mentioned him say just try not to hit the ground. We alluded to it earlier. He did hit the splitter at one point, but the car's pretty good right now.
Well, Dale Jr. telling us at the beginning of practice they weren't going to run very many laps, but as it turns out, all of the Junior Motorsports team's Chevys have put in a number of laps on the racetrack.
Sometimes your plan has to get changed.
Yeah.
Be willing to adjust. And even talking about the heat in those cars. And, I mean, we used to race here in July in Talladega, and I mean that was difficult.
You saw right there, that was a practice pit stop, leaving our pit stall.
Yeah.
That's another thing that you can do here in this session. And this is one of the toughest tracks to get out of your pit stall because of the way it's geared, lack of power. We got the concrete pit stalls. There's a lot of things that can get you in trouble here.
Yeah, Junior talked about it being warm here. This race has been moved on the schedule this year to accommodate the repaving of the Kansas Speedway. Kansas and Talladega essentially swapped dates. So this race has run a couple of weeks earlier. In past years, they ran at Kansas this time. This would be the Kansas weekend or somewhere in this part of the schedule. And then in the fall, Talladega will run in early October this year instead of late, and Kansas will run in late October, again, to accommodate the repaving of the Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, and you would think just in a 300-mile race, well, the heat's not going to be that. But, with the premise of these cars, to make them run fast, you keep the air out of them. So you get nothing inside there as a driver, and all of that heat coming from the exhaust and everything and the engine heat makes it difficult.
Like an easy bake oven in there.
Yeah, it might not be the most difficult place to drive and race, but it really can do a lot. It can be difficult when you're in there, especially these guys that are doing double duty. They've got over 800 miles here.
Elliott Sadler, done for the day, Jamie?
He is finished for the day, turned more laps than he too even expected. But you ran with the 18. You guys seem to be pretty good. What kind of information did you get?
Well, we've never really drafted a lot together before, and we've kind of teamed up for this weekend, and we just wanted to get our switching down, and we wanted to scuff some tires, make sure there's no vibration issues and stuff like that. But very, very happy with the One Main Financial car. Same car we had at Daytona that ran so well, and car drives really good. Just what line can we be in at the right time at the end of the race tomorrow is going to dictate how we finish.
Well, it's something we don't always get to talk about is driver shoes. And you're wearing the pink shoes every week. Explain what's behind that.
Well, when my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, Susan G. Coleman meant so much to her and kind of eased her mind with a lot of the questions and stuff they answered and really helped our family. And we've always tried to raise a lot of awareness for Susan G. Coleman and breast cancer awareness. People say all the time, well, it's not October. That's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But in a lot of people's households, breast cancer awareness is 12 months out of the year. It's not just October. So we decided to wear pink shoes. Oakley sent me some to wear, and at the end of every 30 days, we're going to sign them and auction them off and get a new pair of pink ones. And all that money, of course, will go to breast cancer awareness and Susan G. Coleman. So just something really for my mom more than anything.
All right, driving for a cause. Thanks, Elliott Sadler. We'll start from the point tomorrow. Alan?
Jamie, thanks. Qualifying canceled because of weather. Sadler, being the championship leader, starts on the pole. Field lined up basically according to owner points. So it'll be Sadler and Stenhouse in the top 2 spots on the grid, separated by 2 spots in the championship. Could Talladega change that picture around significantly by the end of Saturday's race? Just across the street from the Talladega Superspeedway, Talladega short track, going to have some dirt car races there the next couple of nights. Red Farmer's grandson is the car chief on the 18 for Joe Gibbs Racing. He says Granddad's going to be running. The legendary Red Farmer of the Alabama gang, just part of the big racing scene all around Central Alabama this weekend, headed up by, of course, the NASCAR Nationwide Series and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, running at the world's fastest speedway.
I guess Red's been running dirt cars for 50, 60 years.
He's amazing, isn't he?
He is amazing.
And he doesn't just go over there. I mean, he races hard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There is Cole Witt back out in the 88 car, still making some laps. Maybe still trying to get the dartiness out of that car.
Yeah, you can find that out by yourself, and also you can find some things, make some changes, just see if you can pick up sheer speed with a few changes.
All right, so the number of cars on the track a little thinner than it's been for the first hour of the practice. Gives us a chance to catch up with some people back in the garage area. Jamie, who are you talking to?
Johanna Long. We've talked a lot about her this year and making her 6th start and first time here at Talladega. How tough is it for you, though, being a single car effort and you don't have a lot of friends out on the racetrack just yet?
Yeah, I don't have many friends yet, but I feel like I've gained my respect a little bit at Daytona. I raced really hard at Daytona, and I feel like I've made a couple of friends. So I got 7 laps of practice today so far. We have a hole in the oil cooler, so we're trying to get that fixed to get me back out on track to try to get this drafting down pat.
So tell me the differences, being that you ran so well at Daytona. How different do you feel here?
It's just all getting the experience, you know, the 2-car draft. I didn't feel like I had a lot of experience pushing someone, but I feel like I've learned a lot from Daytona that I can bring in for tomorrow's race. So hopefully we get back on track so I can get a little bit more experience.
And you guys have some momentum. You had a good run last week, finished 20th ahead of Travis Pastrana, much to his chagrin. He wanted to beat the girls, but how much does that help you and this team? I know you guys aren't going to every race, so anything helps.
It does, you know, me and the team we're really progressing each and every weekend, and it's showing, you know. Coming into a new team, they don't really know what I want in a race car, and it's my sixth start in a Nationwide, so it's very hard, you know, but I feel like we've come a long ways, and I feel like we're definitely showing some progression.
Not that we're comparing women against women, but when you look at her stats, she's only run 5 out of the 7 races, and her average has been better than Danica so far. Alan?
Got 19 years old is Johanna Long. We've seen her in NASCAR's Camping World Truck Series the last year and change, and she's certainly made a name for herself on the short tracks of Florida and South Alabama as well. That Snowball Derby is a big, big deal short track race, and she's holding the trophy.
When I saw her, she had won that race. That's when I knew she was for real, and she's got such a great attitude. She goes about this in a learning phase, and she's out there gaining a ton of respect. Like she said at Daytona, I think she gained respect there, but I think she's actually gained respect since then too.
Yeah, and she's done all of this too with a team that they work extremely hard, but they are underfunded and probably understaffed in comparison to a lot that they're racing against. So she has a tremendous amount of talent and been very impressed with what she's done so far.
Now, speaking of talented and with a big short track resume, but learning the ins and outs of super speedway racing, that 39 car is being driven by Josh Richards. He's a 2-time champion in the World of Outlaws late models, running on the dirt. But this is his first time at Talladega in a NASCAR Nationwide Series car. In fact, it's his first time in a NASCAR Nationwide Series car, period. He has run here once before in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series last year. So it's not his first Talladega race, but it's his first time in a Nationwide car.
Got to be a ton of difference between this and running dirt. Especially a dirt late model.
Yeah, there's not much that translates from that over to this, but you know, I'm sure that people were wondering, well, how did he qualify to get to make that Nationwide start here? But it was because of that experience that he does have, and but it's still a lot of difference, and you just have to learn as you go.
And 81 car, Jason Bowles there, working some with Richards in the draft. Bowles also with that yellow stripe on the back bumper, one of those 15 making his first Nationwide Series start at Talladega tomorrow. Trying to figure out this tandem thing as they go. Nothing can prepare you for it except getting out there and doing it. Dale Jr. signing for the fans. This giant Talladega track will be full of NASCAR Nationwide Series action tomorrow, 3 Eastern Time. Note the coverage on ABC for this race. Also this weekend on the ESPN networks, the Summit Racing Equipment NHRA Southern Nationals qualifying 7 Eastern tomorrow, ESPN2. And the finals will be on Sunday, also at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. NASCAR Nationwide Series one and only practice session getting ready for tomorrow's Talladega race is ongoing. 87 car on the racetrack. Joe Nemechek, one of only 2 men to have won this race multiple times. Martin Truex Jr. with a trio of wins. Nemechek went to victory lane here at Talladega in 1998 for the first time, and a couple of years later in 2000. And when you think about this race tomorrow and you talk about the experience level in the field, and then you look at the rule package that's used with the drafting and the restricted engines and so on, guys like Nemechek with this kind of experience who maybe are, or not maybe, who are underfunded and trying to compete against the bigger teams now, this is an opportunity for them to come back into the fold and really shine. Remember, he almost won this thing last year.
Yeah, and because of that experience that you're talking about, he understands exactly what he needs to do, what he can get out of a car, what position he needs to get himself into. So he understands the drafting side of it very well. And I think probably the pack style suits him a little bit better. But we saw he and Mike Wallace hook up down in Daytona earlier this year and do some good things. So could do that tomorrow.
Some drivers wrapping up their practice for the day, including Danica Patrick. Mike?
Yeah, catching up with her. She just got out of her race car. Lots of scuffs on that rear bumper, Danica. Working with Cole Witt, what'd you learn today?
You should see the front. We wore down the paint, but we worked with Dale at first when we just actually weren't even planning to bump draft the first run or maybe even the second run, but it felt good and it wasn't bottoming out too hard. So Dale and I went out and ran together, and that went pretty good. I think our swap went really good. And then I ran with Cole, and at first it was a little rough on some of the swapping, but you know, I just kind of gave him some of my opinions on what would help and what I learned with Dale, and I think it went much better at the end. So I feel comfortable. I feel like I can do, you know, 3 to 5 laps behind someone, and you know, it's definitely a lot hotter though. The temperature, ambient temperature is hotter, and it's you know, obviously with 4 inches less of cooling in the front, it's running hotter. So I think heating is going to play a part. I really do.
I heard you say that the moment you went out on the racetrack at the beginning of this practice session that the car was hot right away. Did you make any progress in that regard?
It's you know, oddly enough, when the clouds come out, it really helps. But when we were just running, I don't feel like there's a lot we can do. It's just with ambient and with the smaller hole, it's just not going to come down as quick. So it seemed maybe a little bit better the second run, but the first one, it definitely, like, even when I was running tight, not bump drafting, and then pulled out and was alone, the temperatures didn't really drop, so that kind of concerned me. But it seemed better the second time, so I don't know, maybe I have to ask Tony Jr. what he did.
Hey, by the way, we're looking forward to having you as the in-race reporter tomorrow afternoon. You going to give us some good stuff?
Well, I see both the cameras now. I've got the normal one over here and then the one over here, so we were about to make some jokes inside of the car, but then I was like, I'm pretty sure they're recording my voice right now. And then I'm like, I've got 2 cameras now, so you know, hopefully the GoDaddy car can be having a good run and I can be upbeat and have a lot of good things to say. And but I don't know, I can only imagine I'm be a little distracted.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
Danica Patrick, sure to be very informative and insightful tomorrow afternoon. Jamie?
Well, somebody that's a little upbeat so far, 3rd on the speed charts right now, Sam Hornish Jr. You've been running with the 22, your teammate Brad Keselowski. What did you guys find out, and were you happy with the tandem and the switching?
Well, we basically, that's all we did. We ran a couple laps, one of us in front of the other, just trying to figure out, you know, how the switch was going to go and, you know, make sure that everything met up with the bumpers and everything was holding together okay. But the line strut parts Dodge was really good, and just happy that that we're up there on the speed charts, and guys did a lot of hard work yesterday to get us back out there and running, and to know that we're still very quick is always a good feeling.